Okay, 1.3, midpoint, segment bisectors, and distance. Your objective for day 1 is that students will be able to find segment lengths and midpoints. So take a second and write that objective down. We have some definitions here. I'd like you to take a second and write these down. I know it's a lot, and I apologize for that. Okay, so we have some definitions and postulates. Our first one is midpoints and segments bisector. Let me put my annotate mode on so I don't change my slide. So the midpoint of a segment is the point that divides the segment into 2 congruent segments. What does it mean to be congruent? Yep, same measure. So we have a midpoint. It goes directly in the middle, and it makes these 2 other segments here. And you see the tick marks tell us they're the same length. So again, remember those tick marks say, those 2 have the exact same length. We're going to show that by that tick mark. So midpoint right in the middle. It makes segment AM equal to segment MB, and we can say segment AM is congruent to segment MB. So midpoint, directly in the middle, creates 2 congruent segments, 2 segments of the same measure. Then we have a segment bisector. It is a ray, a point, a line, a segment, a plane. It can be almost anything. I'm going to cough. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. It can be almost anything that intersects the segment at its midpoint, at that point that's directly in the middle. And we call this the midpoint if it's a point, or a segment bisector because it is bisecting that segment. So it's the midpoint of the segment or the second bisector that bisects the segment. So here we see we have segment AB. M is our midpoint, and we have line DM or line DC or line CD, however you want to call this line. Remember, two points. That line is going to be our segment bisector. It's bisecting our segment into 2 parts. Bi means 2, segment, parts. Okay? So there, it's our segment bisector. Any questions on these 2?
No, but can you keep it up for 1 minute?
Yes. Let me pause it real quick. First, so in the skateboard design, VW, segment VW bisects segment XY at point T. XT is 39.9 centimeters. Find the value, or find the distance of XY. So I'm going to do a few different things. I'm going to start by doing the exact same thing we did yesterday. Total segment by the parts. Does somebody want to try to do that right now? Total segment. And we're doing the XT and XY. So we're doing this long one here. Does somebody want to try to put those together for me? Kyron, are you raising your hand? Okay. You want to try it first? XT.
No,
but you have the right parts. Equal what? So what's our big one? Perfect. So equal that whole one, the XY. So XY is our big one, equals XT plus TY. And then it tells us something really important here. It says that this VW segment bisects. So when it's bisected, what's it doing? Yep, it's hitting it directly in the middle. And you can kind of see it here. It's cutting it in half, 2 pieces. Our 2 congruent pieces right here. It had these lines on yours. They're really faint, so it might be hard to see. It was hard to see here. It shows us that those are going to be the same measure. So we know that, let me go here. XT is 39.9. What do we know about XT and TY? Yep, Cam. They're the exact same length. So we can just put plus 39.9 equals XY. And that's what we're looking for. I know not everybody has a calculator right now. But if somebody does, can somebody put that in for us? I often do write 1 step in the middle here. And you'll see it on future examples where I just show that you know that these 2 are equal. And based on the fact that they're equal, you know that they have to be the same measure. Yep, Cam, you got it? 79.8. Perfect. Beautiful. And it says centimeters, so I'll put that little centimeter at the back. And we're done.